And so the plans for the weekend, I'll start. It's going to be a busy, fun weekend for me because we are launching the Green Folks tomorrow night, the pack sale on the Wax blockchain, and everything is heating up. We've been giving away drops all the week, and we still have to give 2 more today. People's going crazy, and we're doing a bunch of experiments. We are putting a ton of a hell of offer on the market for the first time. No other collection has thrown away so much offer. Some of the treasure hunters are gonna be not so happy because all they want is grab one of those free drops and try to get their money once there is a scarcity, and we're not playing that game. And it's fun, it's trying for the first time a lot of new things, running with the smart contracts, setting up the web page. It's fun, it's cool, but it's going to be a busy weekend. And we give 24-hour period before everyone can open up the packs. And in a couple of weeks, we'll start introducing a bunch of game, what they call blends on the Wax blockchain, which is a smart contract that lets you trade cards. You give 2 cards and you get a new one, stuff like that. So people gets engaged with the collection. So that's me for the weekend. What about you, Ivy?
Thanks, Santi. My plans for tomorrow is to, of course, do the sprint review video for common staff, and I will be also hosting a free Binance tutorial among my friends because a lot of people are asking me about crypto and they don't know how to start here, and a lot of people are getting scammed here also. So I just offered my service, not my service, but just offered help to them so they can start by themselves instead of trusting the wrong people. So yeah, I would do that tomorrow on Google Meet. So yeah, that's the plan, and I pass it to Juan.
Thanks, Ivy. Well, I think that tomorrow I will go to visit my parents, and I was talking with my brother that I don't understand Uniswap V3. So he told me that we are going to have like a study session, half hour after this call. So if anyone wants to join, we're gonna be in the Ethereum Latam Discord. So I will post it in legal if anyone wants to join. And I'll pass to Seb.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Juan. Yeah, I might join that call. Looks interesting. Regarding the weekend, yeah, tomorrow I start like a new routine with a friend. Like we go with every weekend we go through I don't know the English word, but a sim of a mountain. And yeah, it's being fun.
The pinnacle of the mountain.
Yeah, the pinnacle. Thank you, Santi. And yeah, and then the Sunday using more for rest. And yeah, what about you, Manu?
Well, finishing this call, I'm gonna join a Uniswap V3 study group that I heard somewhere, and I'm reading El Amor en los tiempos del cólera, Gabriel García Márquez, which is paisano of Juanca, and I'll meditate. I'm gonna play with my little nephews on Sunday. I'll be with my parents. My sister's visiting town, and just writing and working on the video too. Pass it to you, D8N1.
Hi guys. Yeah, lovely to meet you all. Great to be here. I'm going to learn a lot by listening in on this call. My weekend. So I've just started a new job this week, and so I've got to run up a few things over the weekend. It's kind of fun and kind of work at the same time. So I'm going to really enjoy running up like a bunch of a tutorial and and a demonstrator. So that'll be my Saturday, and then Sunday will be a day of rest. I'll take the day off, and I live in Cornwall in the southwest of England, so I'll probably be on the beach somewhere. There's the weather's sort of starting to turn up now. It's quite nice. Yeah, so that's my plans. Lovely to hear about your plans for the weekend, and yeah, it'd be great to hear what you guys got going on.
Thank you. Hey, Sean, welcome. We're just standing. You're the last one to share your weekend plans, so just right on time.
Hey, good morning, afternoon, and everything else to you guys. We're down in Southern California today, so I think gyms are starting to open up. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get in the gym and get life a little bit back to normal around here. So that'd be really nice.
Great. All right. Okay, let's jump into the agenda. You guys have the link on the legal. There's the link announcing this meeting with all the links there. And my idea for today was hopefully, and you, Sean, will tell us, we might be able to end the document for the proposal terms, if not all formatted on the content side. And then I would like to jump into the conversation we had regarding the third-party, usage from the members of the DAO, the content published on third-party services that we may not control, at least have something regarding that direction. And finally, I posted an image of the rules that apparently Suga and some of the guys on the DAO have been working on. They've changed them and they requested them on the Discord channel and, bless them from the legal point of view. And so if we can just quickly go over that and give our feedback, I will share the feedback to Suga, which apparently is on the DAO. I can turn the proposal terms document and share my screen with you. You guys see my document?
I do.
Okay. Oh, you've already played some format here, I see.
So I've gone through. We're pretty much there. The only things that are not really done in the document are parameters we just don't have answers for yet. Let me see if I can find an example.
Right there?
Yeah,
right there?
Yeah. Things like this where, look, this may be complete and we don't need anything else, and I can take the highlighting off. Or in proposals where we're not exactly sure if we're staking TEC or wrapped XDAI. And so if those are param issues that are going to be decided, in the near future, then it's relatively easy to just update the document, even if it's in multiple places, once we know the answer. If it's more complicated than that, like, I'm not going to know until the Commons DAO hatches what those parameters are. Again, probably fine. It's just the documents aren't, quote unquote complete until we know those answers.
Okay. Hi, Griff, and hi, the new guys that joined. Tui. I was wondering, I guess we will go, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I have no clue. I've never, jumped into this question before. But I guess after we're done with the hatch and migrated to the final DAO, or before that, will we be voting these parameters on a service like token lock or something like that, Griff?
Mute it.
Yeah, all these. Well, it'll be for the Commons upgrade. It'll be just like how we're doing the hack. So there'll be a dashboard. So the dashboard will be way better and way more complicated. And then we'll vote on the whole thing, not on one parameter, but on the whole thing. And then we'll have a final set of parameters. And that's when.
And that's gonna be after we migrate, before.
Before.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. and I would suggest that we leave it as this, because highlighted, we know that those are the things that we need to either delete or just update whenever we have voted together. So I prefer to keep it highlighted. It's an easy way to just jump into the document and figure out what needs to, be added.
Does anyone mind if I just put
and finalize
a
it?
note? I'm sorry, Santi, I didn't hear you because you paused for a second. Does anyone mind if I just put a little sentence at the top that says, hey, look, the highlights are because we're waiting on the final parameter voting, and once we know some of these issues, the document will be updated. This way, in case it is posted anywhere, people understand why there's highlights there, or understand why, this will be in a different document, but some things are left blank. And obviously some of that's intentional because we don't know the answer quite yet. So as long as people don't mind, I'll just put a little note at the top of the document that says that's why the highlights are there.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Yeah, it's like saying this is not the final, document. We need to finalize it with these params, and
yeah.
So
yeah.
Perfect. On top of that, is there's anything else we need to? Okay.
No, I think formatting, I got it done. Unless anyone has any thoughts, they're welcome to text me during the week, and I'll make any changes that people want. But format wise, I think we're there. I think everything's it looks right. Now we'll see when we convert it. I think I have to convert it to PDF before it gets put anywhere else. So sometimes that PDF process introduces some formatting issues, but nothing that can't be fixed easily.
I think this could go into the Git book too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Libby. I think the only question is where exactly, but I mean in the legal section, but where in the legal section? And so we'll figure that out.
Actually, after your questions, I took a look at the boundaries and agreements, and I feel like it should be closer to the legal section. But then, yeah, I think there's just they're not fully integrated now, but they could be. I think we could put them all together.
And I think that's kind of leads into, I think, the second point of today's call is last week I said, hey, look, I'm going to start looking at all the legal stuff across the different media, the TEC forum, the Git book, and see if we can start identifying the stuff that needs to be filled in, so at least we know what needs to be out there, and then 2, making sure the documents are the same across the different mediums, because we're not centralized, and someone can go into the Git book, and look at Legal 101. If they have editing permissions, they can make a change. Now, maybe it's not a big change, maybe it's just a formatting change. I'm not saying they're making substantive edits, because I doubt anyone would do that without letting everyone else know. But if something is deleted, a sentence is deleted, maybe a keyword is deleted, and it's not deleted elsewhere, then you start getting these documents that say they're the same thing that start looking a little bit different, and they start kind of growing apart from each other. So at least for right now, while it's possible, I started this week reaching out to Livy with a couple of questions, saying, hey, look, here are the things I noticed that need to be filled in the legal section, whether that's the hash terms, or in the TEC forum, which I don't think Libby and I have gotten to yet. But like in the forum where there's just wholesale different documents. And I think some of them may have just been, come along with the forum, or wherever the forum kind of started from. And so I'm just going to try this week to get a more consistent, where if these documents are supposed to appear in 3 places, they're appearing in 3 places. The proposal terms, the hatch terms, the too long didn't read, whatever. This way, if someone's looking at the forum or on Gitbook, they're getting the same story. They're getting the same information.
There's, now that you mentioned this, Sean, it poses me a question here. Let's say, with no meaning of doing harm, someone that has editing power on the Gitbook or on this document, they just jump in and they make a mistake, they delete some sentence or whatever. Maybe we should keep a copy, like the original copy of the document somewhere, which are not, I mean a copy, which are not accessible for some people or for everyone, just for one or two people. That way we preserve that if anything, let's say we've been working on the proposal here. I know you have a copy, you have a local copy, but let's say no one has a local copy and someone jumps into this document and they delete the document, and that document is linked on the Gitbook. Where we may run into an issue because we don't have whatever we thought we had as the terms posted on the place we were expecting to be. So should we keep a copy of these and the other legal documents, so someone takes care, or a group of people take care of that, like the original copies?
Yeah. So in practice, it's very rare for people to have access to, whether it's legal documents or not, drafting documents. It's very rare for people to have as much access to documents like we have in this community, where theoretically someone could go into the Gitbook and make changes to the legal section. You'd be able to tell, right? I mean, because it tells you who saved and who merged and all that stuff. But normally you would never ever do that, because you wouldn't want, all that stuff would have been done in-house before it was ever published publicly. And so it's probably not a bad idea to, once there's a point in time where we say, I literally just now looked at the forum, looked at Gitbook, and these documents are correct. Like, this is that point in time. Either download a copy, but probably also print a copy if that's possible, so that you have the ability to say, hey, look, something looks different. Someone may have gone in and changed. And if 50 people have editing powers, or even 10 people have editing powers, it can be hard to kind of look back and go, well, who changed what, where, when? If you need to go back and do that. And again, 99% of the time, it won't be malicious, I doubt. But, the whole legal side is kind of devoted to that 1% of the time things go bad. So, someone could go in and go, you know what, I really dislike, class action waivers. I think they're really bad. I'm going to go into the hash terms and delete that sentence. Right now, multiple people have the power to do that. I doubt they would, but it's not a bad idea. I think it's a good idea.
Anyone? Yeah, Libby, I was going to ask Libby, actually, any one of you guys have any idea of a service that we could use for that?
Yeah, on Gitbook, you can just export all the pages as a PDF. So I suggest I read all your questions, Sean, and I answered a few of them, but I didn't know you were talking about the forum too. I think that's why I got confused. I thought you were just talking about the Gitbook. So maybe for this not to be confusing, we could make the Gitbook just the one source of truth, and paste the link of the Gitbook and all of the legal and all of the forum posts that talk about legal, and just leave that post there as a historical, like, something, like, we don't want to edit whatever other people wrote, and then just put on top, like, source of truth for legal is the Gitbook, and then from the Gitbook we extract the PDFs, and it's easier to see who edited what in the Gitbook, because you can see in the bottom of the page, like, the names stay there.
Right.
And it's not that many people that have access to.
Right. Yeah. Even with 10 people, which again is not that many at all, especially compared to the kind of input you would have with a big corporation. But then it would always be the legal department that would have the document until it was ready to go public. So, like, no one could ever make a change that the public could see. And here it's just a little bit different because a lot of stuff is going to be publicly available and there's just more opportunity. Even if it's 10 people, because if one person out of those 10 decide, the community no longer aligns with their values, it can become messy. But yeah, we'll keep working on it. And the reason why this kind of came up is from our conversation of, well, what should we do and how should we communicate to members about third party sites we use, and then the fact that although we don't want to keep data or keep anything involved with that, we can't attest to what third parties do. And then obviously you may make contributions to the community. What happens if you become unhappy with the community, and what are your options kind of from there? So I'm not exactly sure, I may just make a 1-page document about that, Santi, because I don't think it's very long. I don't think it's a big thing to write. But I just don't know where it belongs. Like, does it belong in? And the answer is probably in the Git book, but does it belong?
Yeah, that was my question. I mean, I understand Libby's point, and that's fine if we can export all the PDFs. But the point is, where do we store that, and who has access to that? Because that's the source of truth, and not many people should have access to that. And there should be a place where, at the same time, any file storage system that a few people has access to, and those are original documents. And in the event we need to rescue them because someone has messed around or we need to change them, we use those original documents to work with.
No, but we can't change PDF. Nobody can edit in
PDF. It's hard to change PDF, but
you can delete it. You can delete it.
We could store them all both in Gitbook on resources and on the in the forum.
Okay.
Okay, Livy, we'll keep talking this week, and I think we're already starting to make progress on because I saw your answers to some of those questions that we've been going over the last couple of days. So I think we'll keep making progress in that, and then so for the thing we spoke about last week with content creation and where that should go. I just don't know where it goes. I'm going to write a page this week about it, get everyone's feedback during the next meeting, and then we'll decide where it goes. But I just don't have an answer off the top of my head. It may just be a separate section. It may not even be legal. It may not belong in legal. I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm saying it may not belong in the legal section. It just isn't clear to me because it's almost more like less of a, hey, look, you're giving up all your rights to any meme you create in the community, because that doesn't sound consistent. But it seems more like a, hey, look, we know you're going to create things. There may come a point in time where either you want stuff deleted or removed. And in some of these places that may be possible, right? In Discord, you may be able to basically wipe everything you did in the community. It may take a lot of time to go through every post you made and delete it, but you can. And of course, if soft governance or gravity doesn't work in that situation, and I'm gonna remove everything I did in this community to the extent I can, then of course go ahead and do it. But I just don't know where that belongs. I just don't know where
right. That was the other side. One thing is the content I provide, like the memes, okay, and another point is the documents, like this document. I created this document. I'm the owner of the document. I can delete the document because I get pissed off. What do we do then? Okay, so how do we avoid? That's more an issue to avoid than a legal, I would say, a legal problem.
Right. Well, in I don't want to say this is a similar problem that any law firm has, but usually the way, oddly enough, the way to solve it is to decentralize the document, right? Because years ago, when I started practicing law 15 years ago, servers were not common yet. So a lot of stuff was kept locally on your computer. There wasn't a place to upload. The cloud wasn't there. You might have a server, depending on the size of the firm you worked at. And if you had a server, yeah, that document might get uploaded to the server and then therefore distributable to anyone who could see it. And then permissions to access the server, most people didn't have. Like, you then would centralize access to the distributed system. So once someone uploaded a document, say they're drafting a brief, and then they get fired, and you're like, what, screw this firm, I'm going to go delete the brief. They can't, because once they save, they got uploaded to the server. They don't have access to the server. They could delete their local copy, but that's all they can do. And so it's like this weird mix of decentralization and centralization kind of solves that problem, because you distribute it widely via the server, and then you only have very few people control access to that system. Here, I don't know, because I don't think we'll ever have a situation where we're going to want that centralized control over a document, where we'll say, well, Sean's going to be the only person that keeps the documents that are legal related. Like, I don't think that's going to fly. And of course, if I'm the one that gets pissed off, then that doesn't really help anyone, because then if I'm the one in control of the document, I can just delete it. So we'll see. We'll take a look at the PDFs and see. Look, I got pretty advanced PDF software.
I was thinking, does it have sense to make a copy and put it on the IPFS and keep the hash of it?
So there, you still have to have a pinning service, and that's what will happen with these documents. When they go on Aragon, they will end up being pinned on IPFS, and we'll probably have two services for it.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Also,
just like NFTs.
Yeah. Well, like NFTs are supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, right.
Also, if there's extra time, I can fill it with a param party, at least.
We might very well have extra time, because, like I said, I'll work on that this week in terms of content creation and, any complaints about that. And then I think the only thing else we had to do, Santi, this week was look at the Discord stuff. Yes. Right.
The rules on Discord, they are posted on the agenda. It's a snapshot, but you can also go. Probably, Juan, do you know where you can find those on the introduction on the join here?
Yes. Yes, that's the starting channel.
But I just don't know if those are the ones that I got from the GitHub that Suga shared with me, or these are the old ones. You better check the ones on the agenda, because those are the ones that I got on GitHub from the issue.
Okay. I will look at it, and I will communicate that to Bye, because he's the one that can edit this message.
All right. I can share with you the issue. I'll check it out. I'll share with you the issue where Suga requested me if we could check on legal working group the rules, so we can answer from directly on the issue, and then everyone will notice. And then if you get in touch with Bye, if there's any change we need to do, great. All right, I think we're done. All yours, buddy. Ready for the party?
Really? Ooh, party time. Well, who wants to be DJ? Is Chewy in here? Chewy's always a great DJ.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, thanks, man. Cool. So let's start. I posted some links in legal, and I wanna of course first start at the why. So we're doing something kind of crazy here, and maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion, but seriously, when I look at this, I feel like we're transitioning. It's like a similar transition from monarchy to democracy. We're taking the power of economic design out of the centralized control. This is the first time it's ever happened in the history of humanity. I'm not joking, right? Every economy has always been designed by a small cabal, in crypto, it's a technocracy. In the general financial world, it's a bunch of, it's like the Federal Reserve or some government agency. But we're moving away from that. Or we're in a privileged position in the team. It's the Token Engineering Commons. We actually have a community that can design economies. So we're going to take an approach where we design from the bottom up, where anyone can come in and actually tweak the parameters, and their proposal, anyone's proposal for parameters, could be the one that we used. This has never been done before. And it's an evolution. It's an evolution in economics, participatory economics, but also it's an iterative design process. So the way to start, we have this awesome dashboard, which is it's like where the meat is, but that's not where we start. It's an iterative design process. So in these parties that we do, it's really, it's not a part two-y. Where's the music, man?
I was just asking Levy because apparently GroovyBot is not enabled in the legal group. Probably whoever set it up thought it was a very serious,
The legal is too boring for group.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
I might not make these calls anymore.
We're almost there.
Okay.
I'll see if I can open that.
So just so you know, it's really fun to be an economic engineer, and to feel, and the feeling of oh wow, I just proposed an economy. It's something you want to have. Now we only have 27 minutes right now, so maybe you can't finish it today, but there's so many calls today. We basically have we have 3 hours straight of param parties. So it's a great day to really get it in, especially because the vote closes on Thursday. So the earlier you get yours in, the sooner it will, the better chances it has to actually get votes and be up there. And it's really fun, So percentage of the tokens. And that's the hatch design that you have to figure out. Then there's also the DAO, right? And the DAO is a Moloch DAO, and there's a few parameters here that are important. You have to decide how long is the voting period? What is the acceptance criteria? How many people have to vote yes? And really the acceptance criteria, I like to look at it as the rejection, more of the rejection criteria. How many people can vote no and a proposal still pass? I think that's a better perspective to have. And other various Moloch DAO options. So we can look at this, right? This is the original Goldilocks proposal. Now this is Goldilocks v3. Goldilocks v3 wants to give a little bit more power to the builders. So it ends up with a $75 impact hour rate versus this one, which is, this is 75. Is Goldilocks 75 too? V3? I guess so. Let's see. I thought these were.
I think the original one was 50, and I raised it to 75.
No, this is 75. I guess no. Oh yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. So why does it look like? Oh no. Okay, that is 50. I just am reading the chart wrong. So this is 75, and I think the original Goldilocks. I thought we changed this chart to not have a variable axes, but I guess we didn't. I'll have to fix that. So yeah, so this is 75, right? And this is 50. So more money goes to builders. Also, you can see this black piece of pie got larger here because Chewy's a big fan of the Hatch tribute. So you can kind of decide, well, maybe I like we need to talk about tribute. Maybe I like this one, but the one thing I don't really like this high Hatch membership ratio. So I'm just going to go in here and iterate on this. I'm just going to change one thing and make my own proposal. Because I like everything else about it. I'm a tributer. Attach tribute to the moon, man. Let's collectively decide these issues. That's not true. I'm actually more a rage quitter. But membership ratio is an interesting parameter, and I work for the common stack, so I like it to be low. I'm curious to see who else proposed stuff. Oh, wow. Livia's is just an emoji.
Yeah, let's discuss some parameters. That'd be fun.
Wow. Let's see. Ooh, look at that quorum. No joke.
I have a question regarding the hatch tribute. Now I was reading the Levy's comment. So if we have, for example, a very high hatch tribute, and people want to redeem their tokens, they will still have tokens inside the DAO because of the hatch tribute?
No, the Hatch Tribute, the tokens, if they redeem their tokens, so the Hatch Tribute is about wrapped XDAI. So there's two tokens in the system. There's wrapped XDAI and Hatch tokens. The Hatch tokens have claim to one of the pools that has wrapped XDAI. But there's two pools. There's a redeemable pool. That's the token. Every Hatch token has an equal share to the redeemable pool. And then there's the non-redeemable pool, which is only collectively governed by votes. So the Hatch Tribute decides what percentage of funds that are collected go to the non-redeemable pool and what percentage goes to the redeemable pool. So in this case, if the Hatch Tribute is 15% and we raise $10 million, $1.5 million will be in the non-redeemable pool, cannot be rage quit. And you can see how it affects the rage quit percentage so directly. So if it's 15% versus 1%, this just pops up.
Yeah, I understood now the Levy's comment. Like she was saying, like if you keep a very high hatch tribute, even if someone that's not value aligned will just stay because for the sake of governing this hatch tribute somehow, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying a very low hatch tribute.
Yeah, she wants she wants
exactly.
people to rage quit if they don't want to be part of it. She's a community manager, so like she doesn't want to deal with pissed off people. It's like, why don't you just leave?
Yeah, that's very good, Param.
Hey Griff, can you remind me the place where I fork an issue?
You can just click down here, any of this blue text, or at the very top.
Oh, anywhere on those blue? Okay, all right.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
I really love what I love most about this experience. I'm just gonna say is this the connection between the technical and the social. So like the target goal, in no way does the target goal have any impact on the code. We use it to set the curve, but honestly, the target goal is a social parameter. This is going to be on the website, and we're going to have a 0 to 100%. And it's like, this is how much we as a community are targeting to raise. And actually, it doesn't have any place in the code. It's just a social parameter. And it's similar to the hatch minting rate. The hatch minting rate, you know, like you can see the total tech minted here. So the hatch minting rate is 1. And we raise 3 million, what is this, target goal 2 million, then there'll be 2,700,000 tokens. You put in 1 wrapped XDAI, you get 1 hatch token back. If you want it to be like Doge, You know, you put in one wrapped XI and you get 10,000 tokens back, right? That has one like, meaning for the token. Or you could be like, hey, you have to put in $10,000 to get one token. In fact, I made 100,000. Here it is. We will only mint 270 tokens. You know, like, and then these tokens become really valuable. Boom, the token's worth $10,000 right out the gate.
And after the launch, like we can create more tokens thanks to the bonding code, right?
Yes. In the Commons upgrade, there will be more tokens, but you will be setting the initial price of the token, like the psychological price of the token, right? And at least you won't be setting the exact price, but you'll be setting the degree. You know, like is this token worth $10,000, or is it worth fractions of a penny per one?
Yeah, that's cool.
It's surprisingly important, you know, and it depends on, and it's part of a strategy. I also really love this table. It has like it will tell you like how many tokens you get for different amounts. You can also find your name in here, of course. Like, see who's in here. Let's see, decentralized SDGs. Let's see if they're in here somewhere. Oh, no, it didn't search.
Either way, you're gonna be a millionaire, Seb. Like if Moby Dick and Jeff Bezos had a child, that would be you.
Well, SDGs has about 3. We're assuming SDGs will get about 3 impact hours, and that'll, under these conditions, under Livia's crystal ball proposal, then SDGs will get 220 tokens, which would have cost $220 to mint, and he could rage quit with about 180. So for free, if he wants, he can just, if he doesn't feel like this is a good project, you know, he contributed to it and he can leave if he doesn't like it with 180 bucks. But if he stays, then, you know, we'll upgrade to a bonding curve and it'll probably be worth way more than that, but then there'll also be lockup times and these sorts of things. So, you know, everybody, what's interesting about the rage quit value is like, it's this mix between like collective ownership and like, we're in this together. And so like, if you're coming in, then it's like, we as a community, we make the decisions, and versus like the collective being held accountable to the individual. And how do we want to balance? Because the more you can rage quit, the more accountable we are to the individuals. And really, like, if you have a high hatch tribute, you can have a lower support requirement, because you can, if you have a really high hatch tribute, then, you know, if 20% of the DAO engaged community who votes on things votes no, like, they probably still won't rage quit, because the rage quit value will be so much less than what they put in. They're kind of stuck with this. We're all stuck together, right? Which has its value. But then there's also this, like, if you have a low hatch tribute, then you probably want a high support required, because you don't want like 20% of the community disagreeing and then half of those people rage quitting, because then the value of the TEC is lower. So you need a higher consensus. I think Olivia's quorum is just too damn high.
But if you think like how much we're engaging with people, and that's gonna be like they're just being asked to take 2 decisions, to vote 2 times, and then if we can't get like 20% of participation, I feel like, I don't know, it's nice to think of a high participation.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you.
Let's see. So token supply held by builders is 20%, and then let's say maybe 30% total of the builders. I mean, really, how much? What a percent? See if there's 3.7 mil at the target goal, and Zeptimus gets 54,000. What total? What percentage of the total? 1.5%. I mean, if just Septimus votes, we already have 1.5%.
It's a lot.
So I guess that does make it easier. Like Septimus and Santi control about 3%. But maybe quorum can be higher. I still don't think 20% quorum is. Maybe. But then.
Well, maybe put it higher.
Wait. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Libby.
No, it's just also what Griff said about we don't know how many people that percentage takes in. Like we only have the percentage. So I just wanted to make sure that a little more people are required to make a vote happen.
I have like a story that I can relate to the high quorum, and that sometimes can sabotage certain decisions. Like in Colombia, when we had like our peace agreement, then to like legitimize, we have a plebiscite, and people had to vote like, yes, I agree to the peace agreement, and like they said like a really high umbral, like a minimum quorum, and then that day it started raining in all the country, and it was like voting didn't had like that much participation, and like we are a country who didn't like pass to agree the peace process because of a high quorum in the proposal.
Guys, we're at the top of the hour. We're going to be closing for today. I thank you, Griff, for joining and sharing the perms for 10th time now this week. And it was great. I promise I will do my homework during the weekend after I get released from this project I'm launching tomorrow. And I'll vote. Legal has a huge vote here. I know Zepti and I have a huge influence. So I'm going to try to distribute my votes on whatever I think is wise or the best options I can see. So I'm going to go over most of them.
Yeah, well, vote on Wednesday.
Okay.
You should vote some now, but save some voting power for one.
Last minute vote. All right. Okay, guys. Thank you all for joining. I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Santi.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
I have one quick question, Griff.
Yeah.
Regarding the quorum, when you're saying like me and Santi have like 3% of the quorum, but like I was understanding quorum, like like one person is like it doesn't matter the tokens you have. The quorum is like persons, right? Like
no, quorum is tokens.
So support required, what's that?
Also tokens. So support required is the yes votes divided by the total votes. So the tokens, the number of tokens that voted yes divided by the total number of tokens that voted. And then quorum is the total number of tokens that voted yes over the total amount of tokens.
I guess I didn't fully understand, but yeah,
So-
maybe on the next
so
party or
If you have 100 tokens and 70